I'm in view. What is this? You're stealing my arm wrestling strap. All right, this video is for Artem. Artem asked me, how do I teach my dog to walk on a leash? And this is like the most common question everybody has because that is relatively how people gauge each other dog owner's success and in the world of owning your dog, right? Being a good parent. And if you watch my videos, I'm not. I'm not into that. Honestly, I don't think that dogs walking on the leash properly is anything to be super proud about. So you'll see me always talking about how that's not the first thing they learn, even though that's what every owner wants. And if I ever have a client, say, having an adult dog that is dragging them or literally hurting them when they're walking, then yeah, I'm going to go straight at training walking on the leash. But a lot of owners, a lot of trainers like me will tell you that they don't even teach their dogs to walk on a leash, they just do it. And that's the problem about for a trainer like me that wants to express how to walk their dog on a leash because it's a holistic approach that eventually creates greatness. In opposed to what you see on YouTube, where you see a whole bunch of people doing these passive approaches that ultimately leads to walking on the leash, but you'll also notice that the dog doesn't look happy. Um, in fact, there are some famous YouTubers that have to defend themselves, saying why that their dogs are happy, but they don't look happy. They're not. Some of them literally have their head lowered, and it's the fact that walking on the leash properly. I got to keep my eye out for this puppy because he just finished teething and he's just putting everything in his mouth. He is 5 months old. He's an Aussie Doodle, and he's very smart and very mischievous. But I digress. Walking on the leash um, is an act of submission, right? And we have to get that. We have to understand that firstly. Then, if we're accepting the fact that it's a form of submission, meaning that they have to go at your pace. They're it's not a willing thing to do, because I mean, if you think about it, uh, and I'll always say this, a dog would definitely prefer you to be off leash rather than on leash. So one second, yeah, I think he just piddled over in the corner there. Let me be right back. Okay, where was I? I wasn't even paying. Good mark. Yes. Now I've had Pepsi here for for about a week now, or maybe a little under a week. But the process I'm going through, and throughout the entire week, I haven't focused on leash walking. Like I said, it's not something that I find that important. So let me express to you exactly what I would do, and I'll show you really quickly how fast I can get him to walk on the leash properly. But he's young, and he's also really jumpy. Uh, Chef, I'm going to speak Hebrew because the owners speak Hebrew to him. So I learned a little bit. Good chef. This is what I taught him initially. And go to Mark. Good. Kela tov. Yes. See. Cut it. Sibu. Good. And and speak. Yes. And that's what he learned passively. You can't force a dog to speak or lure them into a speak. But everything you've seen other than the speak is the luring technique, which applies to teaching the dog to walk properly. In the YouTube world, if you look, a lot of people are going to teach a dog how to uh, walk properly on the leash after they learn improper methods on the leash. So I don't teach the dog to be properly walking on the leash because, like I said, it lowers their drive. And what I want is a high drive dog so I can continually teach them. So I've seen in your videos, your dogs are free running, they're happy. That's perfect. So you're trying to keep a clean slate before you introduce the walking on the leash. Good boy. And he's going to be barking a lot because today he learned how to bark on command. So he's going to be an overachiever like a lot of dogs. Speak. Speak. Yes. Kelatov. Sivu. Good boy. Okay. So first off, of course, it's just to, and this is what passively is done. A lot of owners will see, a lot of people believe, well, my dog loves the leash. Every time I pick it up, they're excited. That's because they get to go outside and be interactive. But then the other issue is that once you put that leash on, they're just pulling because they want to go somewhere. They're going somewhere because, well, they're outside and they're exploring. So that's why I don't teach puppies to walk on the leash, because they need to explore. They need to get that out of their system. It's like right now, the one thing he loves to do is to chew on the leash. And I just have to continually stop him from doing it. Good boy. Good mark. Yes. Come on. And the first thing I'm going to do when I do it passively is to teach him to wander around. And when he feels that leash pressure, meaning to come to me. So good boy. Yes. He always does that. So I'm going to have to continually correct him because he's been walking on a harness. Come on, yes! When I pull him, he's going to come to me. And there's no way around that. That's why I want to use the retractable. So he can explore and we can practice our recall. When he has fun out there and he runs off, I get to say, Pepsi, come on! And he's going to come to me, and I'm going to add a little bit of leash pressure as he comes to me so he understands that coming to me, leash pressure means to go my way. If I have a 6-foot leash and he's wandering off and he's pulling, I cannot give way to his movement. If he pulls that way, I'm not going to let him go that way. That's going to continually keep him from understanding proper leash pressure. If he goes that way and he gets to go that way, again, that means he's going to start realizing the more he pulls one way, the more he's going to get that way. So the more he pulls this way, and if I let him go, he's going to learn that pulling harder gets his way. I'm not going to allow that. I need to pick my battles. I'm not trying to make his life so miserable because, like I said, leash walking is a form of submission. So I'm going to let him wander off, and when I say, Pepsi, come on, he's going to get rewarded and paid. Shev, Kelatov, yes. And you'll hear me say my verbal cues, which is like clicker, yes. Every time I say yes, he's going to come to me because he thinks he's going to get rewarded. So his name is the recall. I rarely have to say come here because when I say Pepsi and I pull on that leash a little bit, he's going to come to me. Now, I haven't taught him this, so you're going to see this in real time. The luring, I've already taught him the luring technique, as in he understands to follow my hand. And there could be a treat in there, there may not. I'm not going to hold the treat out like this, like a lot of people, and lure him. Because if I do that in the future, if I do this without a treat, he's not going to follow. To make the transition from treats to getting paid intermittently and every now and then, I have a fist that may or may not have a treat. So I'll use my finger. Good. And I taught him to spin by following my finger. Yes. I say yes, and that allows me to delay the handling of the treat. Pepsi, come on. Good boy. Now, if I want him to walk by my side actively, I'm just going to lure him this way. If I have a dog that walks past me, good boy. If I had a dog that walked past me, he won't be able to see my hand, which could allow him to get paid. So why would a dog want to get in front of me? So we need to load up this action, Chev, and have him understand that my hand guides him and my voice tells him what to do. Yes. And if I add a command like walk, Chev, yes. I'm going to create a dog that understands what walk means. Walk. Good, Mark. Mark. Good, Mark. And I use the mark so he understands the proximity when I want him next to me. So he's learning how to pivot and heel. If I say heel, I expect him to be actively walking next to me. So right now there is no difference between walk, heel, but there is a difference between just going off and going to play. Kelatov. Sivu. Shev. Yes. Walk. Shev. Yes. If I continually do this in a good setting, he's going to understand what walk means. Walk. Sivu. Walk. And it means to follow my hand. But of course it needs to be loaded up. Oh, why is he jumping so much right now? Silly. Go to Mark. He's just really hyper right now. Shev. Shev. Good. Kelab Tov. Yes. So that's me actively teaching him how to walk. Now, later on, when I do the same action with my hands, I'm going to change the walk into a heel. Now, when I do heel, it's something else. It's a whole different story. That means I'm going to have him closer to me and more active without breaking his focus. Now, with walk, it should be leisurely. That's why you'll see on the YouTube, so when they walk off too far, then they walk this way, and they keep breaking their movements just for them to give up and submit to your movement. What are you doing? Good boy. Good. Yes. Try it one more time. Walk. Shev. Good. Walk. Shev. Good. Yes. And that's what I would do it outdoors. If your dog's, and everyone's going to say, well, my dog's not paying attention to me. That's because they're not loaded up on an engagement. And they're probably not properly exposed to the world, or they're reactive to other dogs. We need a way to make sure that we're fully engaged with them. And then when we have issues like reactivity, we're able to correct them for that. There's a positive and there's a negative. Either we engage them 100% to make sure they love learning, then we can start correcting them when they become defiant to your actions. Walk. Good. Yes, good heel. So yeah, that is the preliminary portion of walking properly. Telling them how to walk, and then you have to have a command when they're done walking because they're puppies or they're dogs that just learned. You can't have them fully focused all the time. So then I always say, go play, and I would just push them off and see if they want to go off on their own, which is fine. But when I say walk, then it's full engagement. Then they know there's going to be a reward to it. Yes, my hands are more important than my voice, but in time, my voice is as important. Speak. So I always have a hand action for every word. Speak. Yes. Kelab Tov. Kelab Tov. Sivu. Walk. Sit. Shev. Yes. Now another passive action other than the dog walking past you and turning around and walking the other way is to do outer circles, going around the dog. The only time you're able to go around the dog, Pepsi, is if you're in front. Now, if he walks in front, then my foot will get in the way. My foot will just block his action before he gets in front. This dog here, I don't know why he's picking up this arm grabbing. Like he thinks it's going to get... He's just really relentless. Good. Shev. Good. Bring it to my face so he's looking at my face. Kelab Tov. Yes. He's not really hurting me. I just have dry skin. Walk. Outer circles. Da-da. Pepsi. And he's being distracted by my cat. Chev. Yes. And I will do that over and over again. But bear in mind that we can definitely overdo this because they're puppies or they're dogs and they don't have the attention span like humans do until you engage them to that fullest degree. Some dogs are genetically inclined to it, some dogs aren't. Your corgis are technically used to be, or they do have working line in them. But they need to understand the reward system of walking properly. So I would say walk, and then they have to be told when to go free, so they can go potty or something like that. If you don't tell them to go free, then when you take them outside because you want to get them to go potty, you can't blame them for not understanding to walk by your side when they're so used to just wandering off on their own. They have to have a command. So if they need to go potty, say go potty or go free or whatever command you want. But when I say Pepsi, walk, he'll start understanding. Chev. Good, Chev. Yes. He'll start understanding to walk by your side. Caleb tall. Go to Mark. Go to Mark. Good, Mark. And then leash pressure. Yes. So I am passively teaching him in time. By the time he's 1 year old or so, say 8 months maybe, he should understand to walk, how to walk properly. And if I do my part, or the parents do their part to make sure that he has full exposure and he's not fearful of anything, then we have ourselves a pretty good walking dog. Pepsi, come on! Now he's being reactive to the blinds. It's just the world of a puppy. Sivu? Yes! Mark. With the Mark, it teaches him to heel, so I'm going to teach him to pivot well. Caleb, tough. Up. That's me saying, remarking how he's doing something wrong without saying NO. NO is only saved for defiance. We don't ever correct a dog when they're learning. Chev? Well, that's not bad. Yes! Sivu? Yes! Walk. Pepsi, walk. Good. Chef? Yes. Okay, I hope that helps. I know this is you can see my other videos on how I walk a dog. It's always the luring. It's always trying to teach him how to be placement properly. If he passes up my hand, he's not going to get a reward because the hand needs to be in front of his face in order to feed him. So you can help him by putting the leash behind you. And when they get more advanced and I want him to walk more properly, the leash is always behind. And that's where the platform and the mark works. If I want him to get closer, walk. Pepsi, come on. Good. See that positive leash pressure? How he didn't really fight it, Chev? Because he knows he's going to get paid if he does something right. Yes. And that's the preliminary. And then over time, it becomes everything that we teach becomes an expectation. And if they break it, we have to question ourselves, did we do something wrong? What happened? How do we fix it? Stuff like that. Okay, I hope that helps. Have a good one, man. Bye. Come on.